Well, the year has come to an end. I wanted to go ahead and celebrate by putting together a top 10 list of the most shocking sneaker moments of 2017. What is going on, guys? Hes here from collectivekicks.com, and if you guys want to shop the top sneaker deals of the week, go ahead and check the link in the description. Hopefully you guys are ready for the new year and have your New Year's resolutions ready. Leave a comment and let me know what your New Year's resolution is going to be. Anyways, I reached out to you guys on Twitter and asked you guys what are the most shocking sneaker moments of 2017 that you guys could recall, and I got a bunch of replies that I'm going to show you guys on the screen. And a lot of these responses are going to be in my countdown, and instead of doing 5, I'm actually going to do a top 10. So thank you guys to everybody that follows me on Twitter and Instagram. It's at HesKicks if you don't follow me already. But before we get started, a quick shout out to the sponsor, Reshoevn8r. If you guys have not used their sneaker cleaning products before, I highly suggest you go check them out. Link in the description. And if you use code HesKicks, you can actually save 10% off of your order. I personally like the 3-brush kit, but my favorite product is definitely the laundry system because it offers a couple different ways for you to get your sneakers as clean as possible. So go check it out if you guys would like. And let's go ahead and get started in the video. Alright, so starting off at the number 10 spot, it goes to the gold top 3 Air Jordan 1s that was supposed to be an exclusive to complexcon, and then it was rumored to be a UK release only, and then all of a sudden it had a US release on Cyber Monday as well as the UK. And there's even rumors that there's going to be another larger release in 2018. So who knows what's actually really happening with the gold top 3. But it just goes to show you guys you can never really be sure about the sneaker market. There's so many different things that could end up happening. And there's so much unorganization on the releases that you can't really trust the sources that are out there. And that source, unfortunately, is directly from the brand even. So the blog sites covered the story incorrectly many times, but that is because they were led down the wrong path, unfortunately, depending on the resources that they had dedicated, which goes to my point. I think that these sneaker companies need to do a better job about disclosing what type of releases are actually ending up happening. And if you really think about it, it's almost like insider trading when you know the production numbers of certain sneakers. When the numbers aren't disclosed and there's so much hype around a certain sneaker, having the numbers disclosed would force these boutiques and other companies to potentially do raffles and have more fair opportunities for people to be able to purchase the products instead of having them all being backdoored from boutiques. But the sheer hype and pandemonium that these sneakers caused at complexcon was something else. The lines were thousands of people deep through the weekend. A lot of people waited in line for 4 to 5 hours and they completely struck out on the sneakers and didn't even get them. But that is the number 10 spot. All right, so the number 9 spot goes to the revival of the Air Max 97 by Nike. And this had its 20-year anniversary, but it is kind of crazy because I didn't expect the Air Max 97 to have the staying power that it has had in the entire year of 2017. They did a tremendous job, and I'll be the first to admit I thought this model was going to be completely watered down and people would have stopped buying it by the end of the year. But they did such a good job mixing up the OG colorways to re-release, but they also had a bunch of collaborations, which was a really, really smart move to be able to bring the collabs and the limited runs to the Air Max 97. So hopefully they actually retire the model after 2017. I only say that because I don't want them to ruin a good thing. They kind of did that with the Air Max 1. They kind of did that with the Air Max 90. So if they could have the Air Max 97 be a little bit coveted, push that model for a little while, I think that Nike would benefit from it in the long run. And I think that they need to do this with a lot of different models. They need to stop producing so many and just release a bunch in a year and then put it on ice for 5-10 years until the demand is back there again for that model, and then bring them back again, because at this point, re-releasing new colorways of the same models over and over every single year has just been overkill. But I really am happy to see what happened with the Air Max 97. We'll see what happens with the Air Max 98 next year. So the number 8 spot goes to the rise and fall of the Nike Hyperadapt, which was the $720 sneaker that was self-lacing. And this is kind of the evolution from all of the research that Nike did to be able to actually deliver a self-lacing Nike mag, which was the prediction for Back to the Future. It's kind of cool that they actually released a self-lacing shoe. I like that they actually made it happen, but the price point of being $720 definitely was really, really tough on consumers. I say the rise and fall only because they released at the very, very end of 2016. A couple of the colorways that released in 2016 were reselling for over $3,000 on the open market. They added a couple new colorways, and those ones all ended up selling out as well, but they ended up fizzling the resale market quite a bit. In fact, if you go out there now to like StockX, the prices are pretty much on par for what retail is, if not less than retail, at that $720 price range. And then Nike sneakers actually had a crazy restock of like 3 different colorways of the Hyperadapt 1.0. And I don't know, at that point, it was just kind of dead on arrival. Like, none of those ones really sold out. But the other thing is that they've had talks about releasing a Hyperadapt 2.0, and it's going to be significantly cheaper than the first one. And if we know anything about Gen 1s, they're usually not as good as the next one, so you'll probably get a better product in the 2.0, and it'll be a cheaper price point. And that is kind of why the Hyperadapt has tanked, in my opinion. And if they have more colorways that they plan on releasing, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know when they're going to end up releasing the 2.0. But that is the number 8 spot. So the number 7 most shocking sneaker moment of 2017 had to have been when Eminem stepped out on stage rocking Adidas NMDs instead of Nike Airs. It was definitely an odd moment and one that we haven't seen too much in the past. Also, he had that crazy viral video about Donald Trump, and he was actually rocking Adidas NMDs in that video as well. So he has made a little bit of a switch to Adidas, which was really telling. It says something about the times. I mean, even old heads like Eminem are transitioning to the modern times, and we understand comfort. Comfort is kind of a universal sort of language, and Adidas is definitely delivering it. Also, Eminem actually addressed that with the sneaker shopping video that he did with Joe La Puma, I believe, and it was pretty cool to see that he actually talked about it and that they were really comfortable. That doesn't mean that his ties with Nike are done by any means. He's had a lot of different collaborations with Nike in the past, as well as with Jordan Brand, including 23 pairs of the Encore Air Jordan 4s that are going to be releasing just for charity. But it is pretty interesting to see Eminem rocking Adidas once again. He has rocked them earlier in his career, but we haven't seen it, at least publicly, in a long time. So the number 6 spot goes to Big Baller Brand. I can't believe this is even in a countdown on anything relevant sneaker related, but you have to really talk about it because it was an overwhelming success for the Big Baller Brand. And we got to see some of the journey from Lonzo Ball, from NBA prospect to now being in the NBA, and then releasing his own sneaker, and then his brother releasing his sneaker. And it was completely independent at first. And then they partnered with, I think, Brand Black, which is owned by Skechers, to really produce these shoes on the scale that they wanted to be able to produce them, because the mold and the bottom of the shoe is actually just one of the other shoes that are already released. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's really, really expensive to be able to make your own shoe on all the different molds that you have to make from every single size run, left and right shoe. I believe I saw something that Nightwing was talking about that a little bit, but definitely very relevant. We will see what 2018 holds for the Ball family, but as of right now, they definitely made their moves in 2017. And I'm kind of rooting for them. It's going to be interesting to see if they actually end up getting a contract with a major company, or if they're going to completely continue down their independent route. The $400 to $1,000 sneaker line is definitely the thing that was most talked about from them, and it was definitely gimmicky from the beginning. But out of that, they could sell a lot of t-shirts, and they get a lot of publicity. And so it was a really smart strategic move by them to be able to do that. And even if they don't sell very many shoes, the word is out there, and they definitely got their shine on in 2017. So the number 5 spot is the fact that Adidas jumps over the Jumpman. This was definitely something that we could not predict happening, but it is crazy the amount of waves that Adidas has made in 16 and 17. Matt Powell actually tweeted it out and said, Adidas has overtaken Jordan as the number 2 brand in the US sport footwear. This is an achievement I never thought I would see in my lifetime. That is quite a statement from the analytics guy, Matt Powell, but also I don't think he has been very supportive of Adidas from the very beginning. He didn't think that there was any influence from Kanye. He's definitely admitted it over and over again, and obviously there's been a cultural influence from what he has done with Adidas. There's a couple different factors as the reasons why I think that this was something that ended up happening. But just a quick summary: too many, too much, too soon. They made too many pairs, they released them too often, and they cost too much money. And that is a simple equation for why I think the Jordan brand had quite a decline in 2017. Rumor has it that they're actually going to be cutting production in 2018 on purpose. If you guys want to see me post a video on my thoughts on that strategy, please leave a comment in the comment section. 5 years ago, this would have been super shocking, but the lead up from the last 2 years, it's not that shocking that Adidas has overtaken Jordan brand from 2017. We'll see what happens in 2018, and maybe Jordan brand will take their crown back from the 3 stripes. So the number 4 spot goes to the dads taking over. I don't know what happened and why and how it happens, but dad shoes took over the end of 2017, and I think they're going to go on pretty strong in 2018 as well. I really don't know what ended up triggering this fashion or this craze. If you guys know the origins of the dad shoe, leave a comment. And I'm not talking about the dad shoes that I know, because I know dad shoes, like the Nike Air Monarch, but the Yeezy Desert Rats, the Yeezy Wave Runners, the Balenciagas, the Rafts, like there's so many different types. And you'd think that New Balance would have actually taken more of a portion of the dad shoe market, because they're like certified tried and true dad shoes. And it will be interesting to see if Nike capitalizes it more on the Nike Air Monarch, which in my opinion, Nike should definitely be doing more collabs. I saw they're going to be doing one with Concepts. They should be doing more. Dad shoes is something that's actually happening right now. While we're on the subject of dad shoes, I wanted to talk about the Yeezy Desert Rat 500 bundle that you actually had to buy in order to get those shoes. So they had the Supermoon yellow colorway for $200, and you had to buy the hoodie and the shorts, which ended up totaling $760 in order to actually get those shoes. Genius move by the company, but kind of crappy for the consumer, because obviously the hoodie and the shorts aren't selling, but it's a smart way to get people to buy the product, I guess. On the flip side, the people that actually pre-ordered that ended up getting an email saying that they actually got a pre-order of the blue tint Yeezys as well. So that is kind of a plus and a genius marketing move by Kanye. So the number 3 spot goes to 2 different Nike technologies that they ended up releasing in 2017. One is the Vapor Max and the other one is the Zoom X. Vapor Max featured a full-length air unit midsole, which was the first of its kind. Basically, it does not have a midsole at all. It's just an air unit that has some extra little fuses on the bottom for traction. But really, really cool to see Nike actually create yourself walking on air for the first time, like literally ever. But I did a couple detailed videos on both of these. If you guys actually want to see these videos, check the link in the description. The Vapor Max in particular, though, I think looks really cool. It will be fun to see what Nike ends up doing to this midsole technology. I've seen it on at least 6 different models now of future shoes that are going to be coming in 2018. Hopefully they don't bastardize it too much and actually just oversaturate the use of the Vapor Max sole, which unfortunately it looks like they're going to end up doing. Hopefully we get some good versions of it in the future. I did have a lot of positive things to say about the shoe. There was definitely some negative as well, unfortunately, but all in all, it is a pretty cool model, and it's definitely one that you should try if you haven't tried already. And then there's the Zoom X, which I'm really actually quite curious to see what we end up seeing in 2018, because Nike did a really limited release of the Zoom Vaporfly 4% in 2017. There was only 3 different colorways and they were really limited supply, but I ended up getting a pair and did a review on them from a casual perspective. It is a really, really cool shoe. They have a lot of foam cushioning. It's definitely the most responsive shoe that I've ever put on my foot. It's definitely one of the most squishy and cushiony shoes as well, but the stability just wasn't there. I want to see them use this for lifestyle sneakers in the future though, so the future is bright for Nike and their technology, which is why I wanted to make sure we noted it in 2017. So the number 2 spot goes to Virgil Abloh himself, who is the creator of Off-White, who did a collaboration with Nike to create the 10, which obviously had a tremendous impact towards the end of 2017. It was a great way to end the year for Nike to have such an amazing collaboration with such a creative individual. But did you guys also know that he has a lot of history with Kanye? Virgil Abloh was actually Kanye West's fashion advisor and creative director in the past, which is a pretty interesting fact because Kanye obviously left Nike to go to Adidas and made a lot of waves over there. Meanwhile, a couple years later, Virgil sets up his own thing at Nike and ends up making more waves than Kanye's Yeezys did. It's almost like Virgil's son Kanye in 2017, but something that can't escape my mind is what happens if Virgil ends up helping Kanye move back over to the Nike line. Like, could you ever see Nike actually ponying up the money that Kanye wanted to be able to have Kanye come back and create his own visions over at Nike? That would be insane to actually see if something like that could happen. But who knows the future? We all don't know it, but just kind of some food for thought. But Virgil did a pretty tremendous job bringing back some hype to some sneaker models that just really didn't have any, as well as being able to create his own Air Jordan in the way that he wanted to create it and get all the approvals from Nike and everything else. So kudos to Virgil for what he did, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2018. All right, so we made it to the number 1 spot of the top 10 shocking sneaker moments of 2017. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe if you guys are new to my channel. Hit that little notification bell if you want to be notified when I post videos. The number 1 spot goes to Kanye West and the fact that supply is actually meeting demand. Kanye said he wanted Yeezys for everybody, and I didn't believe him, to be honest, and I thought that it would have been kind of impossible to achieve, but Adidas did a crazy job increasing production numbers like crazy amounts towards the very end of this year. It will be interesting to see with Jordan Brand's strategy of cutting back sneaker releases in 2018, what that means for the new releases from Kanye, and will we actually see some major releases like we saw this year. On the positive side, a lot more people got to try out their first pair of Yeezys. On the negative side, the resale went down significantly, under $400 for the first time ever. People are used to seeing 3 to 4x of what they paid retail for, which is usually $220, and now they're selling for $350, $375, depending on the colorway, which actually has a trickle-down effect because if you look, the older colorways are actually selling for less than $400 as well, including the cream colorway. Ultimately, though, I think it is a great move from Adidas. Obviously, they can make a lot more money by selling more products, but they also didn't release a crazy number of colorways and models. They had a handful here and there that they released through the entire year, but if you look at it in comparison to Jordan Brand, who actually ended up releasing over 140 different retros in 2017. I said that correct, 140 retros. Like, that is absolutely insane. So as much as Adidas tries to saturate the market, they're not going to oversaturate to the point where they're going to be having no resale value on the sneakers, or just having them, more importantly, just not move off of shelves, which I know some people will get upset when I mention resale value, but it is really relevant, because if they don't have a resale value and if they are sitting on shelves, that's when everything negative really happens, because you can't have too many pairs of retros sitting on a shelf before it takes up too much space, and then it has to be deep discounted to be able to be moving the product. And that's what we've seen from Jordan Brand this year, from a lot of the major releases that they've had ended up in outlets because they just can't move enough of the product and they're releasing too many things too often. So, but I'm really interested to see where 2018 end up taking us from all of the craziness that we've seen in 2017. Hopefully you guys like my top 10 list. If I didn't hit something that you guys thought was very relevant, leave a comment in the comment section and let other people know what that other shocking moment of the year was, because there was a lot of them. I just wanted to cover my top 10 that I mentioned. And hopefully you guys have a great new year. Thank you guys for stopping by and rocking with the channel. Much appreciated. Have a lot of fun content coming to you guys in 2018. So stay tuned. Appreciate y'all for watching. Have a good one. Peace, guys.